I'm convinced the uglier kit wins the Champions League final every single time, and I have the proof. Now, you may disagree with me, but honestly, that's the point. These are my opinions, so let me know down below in the comments which ones you think I got wrong, and let's jump into the video. So the first one on our list is the Champions League final in 1998 between Real Madrid and Juventus. Now, Juve's kit in this final is the classic black and white stripes that we all know. It has that Sony sponsor right there in the middle. It has the Kappa badge on one side of the jersey in the front. That Kappa era of Juventus kits is probably one of the most iconic eras of any kits club's history, because when I look at this specific one, I immediately think of Del Piero and Zidane, two of the greatest players of that generation wearing that kit in a Champions League final. That alone just elevates the jersey to another level. Now, on the other side, you have Real Madrid's kit. They wore their home kit, and it has that classic white, timeless for this club. But then when you look at it a little bit more, it has these purple trims on it, on the shoulders, on the collar. The sponsorships are also in purple. On the back, they have their names and the numbers in purple as well. And when you put it all together, it just looks a little bit off. And look, I was born in 1992, and this final took place in 1998. I was like 6 years old when this happened. I didn't even know anything about football at the time. But when I think of Real Madrid, this jersey does not come to mind. However, Real Madrid won the final that night, and I guess that's all that matters to them. But if I had to choose one kit, I'm taking Juve's kit all day. But on this next one is where it starts to get interesting. We're gonna go back a few years to 1992, Sampdoria versus Barcelona. Now, technically, this is a European Cup final, and this was actually the last year of the European Cup era before it was rebranded to the Champions League. If you didn't know, Barcelona won that night on a Ronald Koeman free kick in extra time. This era of Barcelona was Cruyff's dream team. You had players like Guardiola, Stoichkov, Laudrup, Koeman. That team was special, but the kit that they wore that night definitely wasn't. This bold orange Maybach kit just makes me want to look away. It has diagonal chevrons on the shoulders. It's a bold decision, an ugly one, and honestly proof as to what I was saying earlier, that the uglier kit always wins the Champions League final. Because on the other side, we have Sampdoria, a club that probably doesn't get mentioned a lot when it comes to talking about Champions League finals, probably because this was a European Cup final and not a Champions League final. But that jersey has the white base with the horizontal stripes going across the chest in blue, red, and black, and it has the crest right there in the chest in the middle. Just has more of a vintage vibe that I personally like a little bit more. On the front, they did have a sponsor all year, just kind of right below the buttons of the collar there. But for the final, they chose to go sponsorless. This Sampdoria jersey is honestly the jersey that you want to see hanging on your wall or in your wardrobe. And look, both kits are unique in their own way. Barcelona is definitely a little bit more unique there. But if I had a gun to my head and someone told me to choose, I'm buying the Sampdoria every single time. But now we're getting into the ones where people are actually going to fight me on. Real quick, if any of these jerseys catch your eye and you actually want to own one, then I've got a link in the description below where you can browse and buy vintage football jerseys. So go ahead and check it out, and let's go back to the video. It's 1993, Marseille versus AC Milan in the first year of the Champions League era. Now, Marseille ended up lifting the trophy that year, but look at their kit. It's just a white kit with some blue thrown on it. They were sponsored by Adidas, and if you see on the right-hand shoulder, they have the 3 Adidas stripes there in blue, with the Panasonic in blue, and obviously their club badge in blue as well. And I'll be honest, if I'm looking at it just alone, it does look pretty cool. It's pretty decent, I'm not gonna lie. And I'd probably consider buying it if I saw it online or in a shop. And then you take a look at their opponents, AC Milan. They are in their classic red and black stripes. Honestly, when I hear AC Milan, this is the type of kit that comes to mind. It's their identity. I think of Maldini, Baresi, Van Basten, who played that night. Arguably one of the greatest teams in football history, wearing one of the most iconic football kits in the world, and they ended up losing that night. Came out later that Marseille ended up cheating. There's match fixing scandals. Their president went to prison. Not only did the uglier kit win, it turns out that the uglier team ended up winning in every sense of the way. And this next Champions League final is probably where I'm going to lose most of you. This one is the 2006 UCL final between Arsenal and Barcelona. Now, a lot of people here are going to disagree with me on this because they believe that both kits are great and the better kit probably did win that night, which is probably true. But this is my video, so I don't care. This final was during what a lot of people consider the golden era of football, and when you think of these two clubs, these two kits probably come to mind. Arsenal with their yellow away kit and Barcelona with their home blue and red stripe kit. Both are timeless in their own way, and I would say Barcelona's jersey is probably a little bit more sought after by collectors in the vintage jersey space. It has no sponsor on the chest, which keeps it clean, but if we're looking at these two kits just from a face value, just from a design perspective, I like Arsenal's yellow just a bit more, which is a wild thing to admit, liking an Arsenal kit, because I'm a Chelsea fan. I think of Henry when I see that kit. When I look at Barcelona's, I do think of Ronaldinho, which adds a little bit more value to the kit. But for some reason, this yellow just pops out visually to me. But I will say thank you, Barcelona, for wearing the uglier kit, in my opinion, that night. Now, this next one is going to cost me some credibility. This one's going to bring back bad memories because it is the 2008 Champions League final between Manchester United and Chelsea on that rainy Wednesday night in Russia. For me, when I see this Chelsea kit, I just see John Terry slipping every single time when he's taking that penalty. But it doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about that. We are talking about the kits. I think a lot of people, when they talk about Chelsea or think about them, this home kit comes to mind. It's the blue home kit with the white collar and the white trim on the shoulders, the giant white Samsung logo right there in the chest. You think of players like Lampard, Drogba, Joe Cole, and John Terry slipping on the penalty. That was that Chelsea, and that's that kit that represents that entire generation. On the other side, you have Manchester United, the team that actually won and the team that got to celebrate and lift the trophy. And when you think of them, or at least me personally, when I think of them, I think of that red jersey. But that's what it is to me. It's just a red jersey. I mean, just look at it. It's red all over, and it's got 3 logos on it. It's got AIG in the middle. What the hell is even that? Which I think is an American insurance company or some sort of insurance company. But that's it. One of the biggest clubs in the world just had an uglier, mediocre kit that year. It just doesn't do anything for me design-wise compared when you look at Chelsea's kit that year, which in my honest and very biased opinion, Chelsea had the better kit that night. However, we still lost that night. Terry still slipped, and it still hurts just a little bit, but at least we look better doing it. So there you have it. Those are 5 Champions League finals where 5 times the better kit lost. Let me know down below in the comments which ones you agree with and which ones you think I'm totally wrong about. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video as well. And this Saturday is the Champions League final between PSG and Arsenal. One of them is going to be lifting the trophy in the uglier kit. I just hope it's Arsenal.